Right, so this is a redrawing tutorial. I'm going to start with, let me see. We should be covering clone stamp tool and pen tool mainly. I'm going to go into some healing brush tool if I feel like it. I personally don't use it that much, but to each their own. I'll go through some content aware because people say it's a useful tool. It's pretty useful if it does its job properly. Let me see. I'll think of some stuff later on, but the main tools we got to get through is the clone stamp tool and the pen tool, because these are the tools that you are most likely going to be using when redrawing. So first we'll start with an easy clone stamp tool, because that's the easiest. And as you can see, what I have here is a purely simple joint double page. Now I've done some of it already, as you can see up here. I haven't really finished this portion yet because I kind of stopped halfway through. But as you can see, I have this left, so I'll be working with this during my tutorials. The main thing I want to get across before I start this is that though you can look at tutorials and such on redrawing especially, it does not excuse practice. I have read almost every tutorial out there on redraws at least once, and I have improved. Well, when I started, I improved far more by just taking random pictures and redrawing them. Go around to groups, take their tests for redrawing, and you don't even need to apply to them, just practice on them. It's the best way to improve your confidence on redraws, and it's the best way to learn how to just do redraws in general. Okay. And sorry if my voice is too low. I've been trying to play with the mic on this for a while, so I hope it's not too low. So I'm just going to begin with a simple clone stamp tool. So that tool is right here. Clone stamp tool. Now, this I use the clone stamp tool for. Partially, I used another method actually for doing this, which I will show later. At the end of the clone stamp tool tutorial, because that's what this is. Just to show you. So here's what you do. It's really easy. So you take whatever copy you're supposed to be on. So this, I want to copy this and bring it here. So you go to the area that you want to copy, you press Alt, and you left click. Now what that's going to do is it's going to copy that specific area, and the next place that you put it down, that's where it's going to mark from. Now I know there's a setting that allows this, but it should be automatically on. Once you start using the clone stamp tool, the reference part will move with your mouse, and you'll start redrawing the same spot that's over here, here. So for example, I picked this portion. I'm going to put it here. I left click. And as you can see, the cross to the right of the screen moves in the exact same direction as the circle on the left side of the screen. It copies everything that the cross does, even stuff like this. And we don't want that. Also, In addition to that, it will keep on going for however long you want. Another issue is that when you go too far, it will also copy the blank spaces. See how it's not doing anything? That's because it's copying nothing at the moment. Right here, it's copying all the white. See? Here, where I have stuff drawn, it's not copying anything. The reason is because I haven't let go of the left mouse click button. Once you let go, it will register everything that you've done and you can redo the clone stamp tool. As you can see, now it's starting to do stuff. We don't want that though. So, it's a pretty easy thing to do really. Just be careful of nicking other spots. You can then re-reference and then continue on from where you left off. Now, this is a pretty easy one because the patterns aren't too bad. So because of that, you don't really have that much room for error. You do, of course, just not that much. And then what I mean by this is gradients, really. Take for instance this shirt. Okay? Let's say I tried to clone stamp here, and there was something here. Now I'd usually go here and that would copy the patterns, right? Well, if you do this and put it here, it looks completely different, right? That's what you don't want to do. An easy way of marking is to look down into the pixels and also increasing and decreasing. I put it in the cleaning tutorial, but it's Alt, right click, you get this red button. Just move it right, makes it bigger, move it left, makes it smaller. So anyways, so let's say this pixel right here. Do you see how there's like a blackish gray and a black right here? Well, that's very similar to this one. So what you could do is you left click, and you can start copying very similar areas. Now of course, it's a horrible way, but it's very useful once you get into things like, for example, here. Pixel, pixel. So that's done, and now you're starting to copy the pants, right? And it's not going too bad. You can't really notice this portion. You can notice up here, but you can't notice this portion as much. And that's the main point of that. So a perfect example would be right here. This side has more of a darker gradient than this side. And there are two ways to get around this. Well, there are multiple ways, but I usually only do two. The one way is to literally just copy some random area, plug it here, and just start going over it. Right? Really easy stuff. Now, the issue comes in whereas this gradient doesn't meet it. Easy way to do that is to just copy over the pattern. Now, it's not really doing very well because I'm really not paying attention right now. But, you know, get rid of stuff like that. There we go. Get rid of stuff like that. Anyways, then just copy over that pattern. And you don't need to copy over like make it perfect, but just enough that it kind of blends in with it. Always remember to check from afar to see if you know it's going okay. It's very useful. A good sense of patterns is right here. So remember how I said I wanted you to like take a similar pattern like this, put it right here, or copying this shirt. It's really not doing that much. See? That's because the pattern is really good. So that's a perfect explanation as to why you would sometimes like to look for the, the pixels. It just makes how it looks a lot better. It also makes it easier for you to not screw up as much. I wish I had a time on this. Anyways, so essentially, I'll go through this once more. You can exit right now if you want, but I'll go through it once more. The clone stamp tool is used essentially when you want to make patterns. Now, let's say there's text here, right? Then all you have to do is copy from this spot here and just go over it. Okay? Now, try to make it look appealing. You don't have to make it look perfect because sometimes text goes over. When it comes to joints like this, you have less room to mess up because, well, everyone's staring blatantly at your mistakes. But most readers don't really care because, well, you've just redrawn or released a chapter that they want to read, so they'll pretty much only care about, that the fact that it's released. Now, I said I was going to show you a little trick for patterns like up here. Now, what I essentially did for this was I used the lasso, or in this case the rectangular lasso tool. I made an area like this, and then I layer via copy. Okay, so again, I take the rectangular lasso tool, left click, drag it, right click, and layer via copy. Now what I can do with this, deselect, so that here's your copy. And what I can do with this is I can move this layer around. Now before I had this area not really drawn in well. So what I do is I put it here, I alt, left click, hold, and it duplicates the copy. Okay? And I just keep on doing that, like that. Then what I do is, because that area was, it was pretty in there, what I do is I merge all these layers, sorry about that, I merge all these layers together, move it behind my main layer, take the eraser tool, and start erasing. Make sure that you're erasing on the top layer, and what this does is it erases all the pixels that was there and puts it and allows the bottom layer to be revealed, making a sort of seamless, shirt. Now, of course, you can use clone stamp tool, but in cases like this, it's a lot harder to do that sort of thing because of the fact that you have this small area to work with, and you have all of these lines right here, right? And you kind of want to make it seamless, so it's a lot easier to do it that way. Okay, I should wrap this up, and you can watch the next tutorial later.